evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the March 22nd meeting of the Board of Sewer Commissioners. Call the meeting to order and have a roll call.
Donna Bronk, present.
Malcolm White, present.
Peter Dunlop, present.
And Jim Gibberti, present. And we have got minutes from the
Yeah.
March 8th
I will go.
meeting.
I move that we accept the minutes as written.
Was I there? I'll second that.
Yeah, you were there.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
400. Okay. Okay, citizens' participation, we have none. Sewer business, we've got an issue that we've had to deal with, and just for updates for people. It's on the sump pumps. And a newsletter went out in February
I saw it.
to everyone. Hope you have it. And under the Swift Beach Rehabilitation Project, it was indicated that the discharge from sump pumps is prohibited into the sanitary sewer system, and the laws relative to that. And so we're asking everybody who happens to have a sump pump that's pumping into the sewer system to relocate where it goes to, but it cannot go in the sewer system. Should it go in the sewer system and you are caught, the minimum penalty that exists for a first offense is $200. And it escalates from there, so we would hopefully request that you disconnect any sump pumps discharging into the sewer system.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I'm glad that you specifically stated that, because so many people have been inquiring, we're not going to get rid of our sun pumps because we've got water damage in our basements. We got water coming into that. And I think it's so important that people understand it's just that it's not permitted to go into your sewer system. You can still have a sump pump, but you have to run it in, have some other outlet. And I think that, I'm glad that you brought that up, and I just wanted to drive it home.
yeah. Just to clarify on that particular point, Donna, sump pumps are not illegal. It's where they're pumped to that becomes illegal. If it's pumped in the sewer system, it's illegal. If it's pumped outside, if it's pumped into the backseat of your car, it's not illegal. You can go anywhere other than that.
That's not entirely true.
What?
You can't pump it on your neighbor's property, and
No.
you can't pump it on the street.
That's correct.
So it can't just go anyplace. And these fines, that might be a nice place to start, but there are certain homes on the water that have finished basements that have no place that they can pump the water, because when the tide is in and the yard is flooded, their sump pump is nothing more than recirculating it. That they're going to look at this as a small price to pay to keep their finished basements dry. Now, I don't know what the solution is until we can tell them that they can pump it into the storm drain system where it's provided.
Well, at this point, that's another one of our
So
projects out there.
It is a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a fine place to start, but if I had a finished basement, these fines only total $750 for all 3 offenses, if you catch me.
But every offense after that is a $300.
But if you've got a finished basement worth thousands,
Oh, yeah?
That it, you know, we've got to offer those people some sort of a solution.
I agree, but I just don't know what,
I don't know what the
What it would
solution is
be.
at this point either.
I have no idea what the solution would be.
I mean, even if you were to pump it into the storm drains, if you take the areas down along Wanquiko, down on Swift's Beach section, when the tide is in and it's been raining and the street's underwater, the storm drains aren't doing any good. That pumping it out there is not gonna do them any good. It's the same situation in some sections over at Agawam Beach. I'm sure there's more than that. I'm sure that situation exists down in certain sections of Onset. That we've got to come up with an out for some of these people.
I don't know if we can.
We will.
It's not sewage.
No, we may not be able to.
if they're not
You know what I'm
sewage.
saying?
What's that?
It's not sewage, not our jurisdiction.
Okay, but if there's no place for them to get rid of the water, do we
our
offer them,
problem.
do we offer them an out and let them put it in and charge them by the gallon?
Well,
Oh, then you need a meter and all that.
according to this, we can't do that. Section 1,
No, because it's a town bylaw.
no person shall, blah, blah, blah.
Right. It's a town bylaw.
So maybe, if you want to consider that,
It would require going to town meeting and getting the law changed.
you know, I honestly don't think it changes the vicious cycle when the storm drains are full. The key is to de-water. You have to keep up with the flow till everything ebbs. So I don't think putting it into the sewer does any better than putting it back out on top of the ground. The key is you have to continually de-water and run that pump until things settle down.
I mean, no, I understand, that's,
But if the tide is in, there's no way to
I mean,
de-water.
there's some buildings where they de-water 24/7 because of where they are.
yeah.
So, I don't know.
Where are they de-watering to? Where are they discharging? These people have no
Don't know.
place to discharge.
That I
It's-
don't know, but it's some buildings are set up where they're into the water table and it's continual discharge. Where's it go? That I don't know. Not into the sewer. Shouldn't. Probably goes into the storm system.
But see, the storm system's redundant. I mean, it's done nothing but recirculating in these conditions.
But
And what I'm saying is basically it amounts to recirculating if you're putting it in the sewer because there's so much water, it's endless. It's gonna pump forever till things, you know what I'm saying?
Really
You're
right.
absolutely right. But if they have no
So
option,
put it in the sewer,
well, it gets it out of their basement.
putting it back on top of the ground will, but you have to
You just have
continually
to,
de-water.
and that's what we do. Well, I mean,
Continually de-water.
right on my street, I would say 90% of the houses get water in the basements. 90%.
when-
And everybody, you just keep it going out to your backyard.
That's what you
and
do.
it just
You stay
keeps-
ahead of it.
Yeah,
That's all it
exactly.
is, stay
You gotta
ahead.
keep, just keep, you even gotta put a battery pack on it if,
Some
you know?
do, yeah.
And, I mean, that's what we do, because we couldn't, I mean, your basement would never be dry.
I have that problem.
Yeah. Oh, you just,
You know, you're in big trouble if you can't daylight a pipe, a foundation drain, right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem. But it's not our problem.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we
Mike?
could offer a solution, but I don't know that we can.
It-
We can-
So the only
And you
solution we
may
can
want to
suggest
keep
is-
a blind eye to this until we start repairing our pipes.
Right.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
but
And-
that's when we first noticed it.
You're right, correct, and there's a section here that covers that. Section 3,
3,
yeah, so that's where that bill's going, if we're lining pipes, and
Yeah,
they don't come, so everything's in place for that. Reading this.
pretty much.
they're gonna get the bill, I think everybody should be notified when you start your
I
repairs.
think this conversation
Fair enough.
really is just to try to let people know that sump pumps are an issue going into the sewer system. It needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed by the homeowner as well. And I'm not particularly interested in fining anybody for anything as long as they,
Yeah,
keep this-
my biggest concern is when we start doing the repairs, I don't wanna get a change order
no,
for thousands of dollars to repair where a sump pump damaged a liner.
right.
So,
Yeah, because,
however you wanna handle it.
okay, well, we've got the bylaws, that's what's in effect at the present time, so just so that everybody is aware
Yeah, and I
of it.
guess when you start a repair,
Yeah.
everybody will get notified. Maybe they
Yep.
have to be notified 3 times.
Oh, I'm sure.
So however you want to accomplish that, so they know they're going to get the bill for the repairs.
Exactly, and make it known to them that they're gonna get, if you are
We could
found
even-
in violation
Yeah.
of committing, of causing damage to our sewer system because of your sump pump, you are gonna pay the complete price to get it resolved.
And you could even do a short scenario on how the repair works.
Well, even on that, that's a good point, Mac, but just so that people are aware too, that we are able to determine whether or not you have a sump pump pumping into the sewer system without going into your house.
Exactly.
So, just because say you're not gonna let anybody in to check anything, it doesn't do you any good. We can still check, we still know whether or not you're pumping into the system. If it affects us when we start to reline the pipes, you're gonna pay the whole cost, which is exorbitant.
I agree. I absolutely agree 100%.
So, okay. Moving
And
right.
Peter makes a good point.
But-
If you feel your basement's worth
Yeah.
multiple thousands, well, then just pay it.
Do what you gotta do.
Yep.
That's the whole
No, I
game.
noticed up there in,
But I think everybody has to be properly notified.
Right.
And I think
That's a-
way in advance
Well, that's
of
why,
the initiation of any repairs, and then several times thereafter.
so that's why I
all I'm
wanted to
gonna say.
bring this up tonight and at least get the discussion going.
You can
again.
start 6 months ahead,
Yep.
2 months later, 2 months later.
Yep.
Even, and again, we're getting ready to go. This is it. You can't say you didn't get it.
Hammer's about to come down.
Yep.
and we're just about to hire an enforcement officer. I think the selectman mentioned that at the last meeting. But I notice also here, up in section 4, the first section of the bylaws,
This is in the bylaws, by the way, for any of you that are wondering what we're reading out of. It's the town bylaws, the current ones. I'm sorry. What, Peter? Which section were you in?
the very first section here. This applies to the plumbers and so forth, and anybody connecting to that's doing the connections. But if they see anything illegal, they're required to point it out.
So, just to reemphasize, if your plumber comes in and he sees something amiss, it's his responsibility to report it to us.
Is that part of the plumbing license application?
Yeah.
It's on there? He has to confirm.
So if he sees that he's putting his license at risk,
Right,
wow.
set up, at the moment. Okay, we had this corrosion control report that was presented.
Greenspan?
No, Green Seal is, the Tech Environmental is a corrosion study.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, oh, yeah. The corrosion one, yeah.
And basically, what this study has shown is that we have got some serious corrosion problems in areas that we're in the process of addressing. And unfortunately, we've been saddled with the situation where it's been a, to make the comment that some people don't like, is kick the can down the road
Yeah.
Well, we're at
in
the
the
dead end.
past, and we're at the end of the road right now. So, this is more of an informational thing for everyone, to let you know that we do have other problems that exist within the system, i.e. the corrosion for one, that we're in the process of addressing and hope to have under control in a reasonable period of time. The cost numbers associated with doing it, I do not have at the present time. Anybody else want to jump in?
I think that's one of the items that we're going to be going to a town meeting for, is to start on one section of the pipe. That's the section we've discussed that goes from the Narrows over to Swift's Beach, through Ripley's Trailer Park, behind the school and all of that.
That is one of the areas that we have a substantial issue with, particularly because of where it runs around the water and all, and in the swamp area. Anybody have anything else they want to add into the corrosion
No.
discussion?
It's something that must be tackled, period. And it's not gonna come cheap.
Nothing does. Nothing does when it comes to sewer.
Are these the same? Is this yours?
One is, this is the one that has to be signed. Priscilla update, we don't have. Guy, unfortunately, his father passed away and he's not here, so. Talk about that later. Town meeting warrant article. Peter just alluded to that with the expenses. If you can see that map, that's on the, I don't know where it is on your screen, but it's over on my left. And we've shown that before, and we'll continue to show it. That's the $10 million warrant article that's on the special election for, what is it, 26th of March,
23rd, I think.
23rd of March, April, rather, April.
April, yeah.
It's an authorization for us to borrow up to that amount of money in order to reline the pipe from the lower left-hand corner of the map to the upper right-hand section.
Do you want me to point it out?
Yeah, would you? Just so that everybody's aware, this is a 2.2, goes from down here at the bottom.
So that's starting at Swift Beach Road.
Right.
Can't hear you, Peter. Use the microphone on the desk.
Yeah, use that microphone right there, Peter.
All right, so starting at Swift Beach Road down at,
That other
that's
street.
Matthews Drive. It starts there, runs all the way up Swift's Beach Road to a point by Ripley's Trailer Park, runs in through the trailer park, over the top of the marsh, down behind the high school in Vikings Way, comes all the way out to, is that Kennedy Drive?
Kennedy Lane's right,
Kennedy Lane,
that's the one that cuts across there.
then comes out to High Street?
That's coming out of, that's coming out of, Kennedy Lane is that straight shot up to the green, that's it.
Yeah.
And then you got, make that little jog right there
Why
at
is
the
that red?
forced main. That section is a
So it's
forced main.
forced from that point on, okay.
Right.
Now, this section here will be done beforehand?
That's High Street, yes.
That's that little 60-foot section that's going to be
Right.
done ahead of time?
Yeah, because that's crumbling completely,
Okay, then it comes down Sawyer
right?
to
Into-
Main,
Right.
in by the fire station, and down Merchants Way?
Right, down to the pump station. And that's what the $10 million authorization is for, is to reline that pipe. And we've determined that relining is much more cost-effective, both in terms of dollars and time. We don't have to dig up the streets, and can reline in place. And we're trying to keep, we don't want anything to happen, particularly where that goes, as you can see through the marsh. As a coastline community, that's the last thing we want. We don't want to be in Nantucket. They had their issues over there, and Plymouth had their issues, and we don't want to get into the same thing. So, this is an attempt to stop kicking that stupid can and getting the job done and done right, so it'll last for the next 50 or 60 years. You else want to throw something in?
Well, is somebody going to make this presentation at town meeting? I mean, we're reaching a limited audience, especially tonight with everybody being at either the FinCom with the school department or at the candidates' night. Is somebody going to make this presentation at town meeting?
Well, it was suggested at the last meeting they had, and it was a very good suggestion, that somebody other than me make it, because they can make the presentation longer.
Thank you, Donna.
Well, I just want people to hear.
But you're right, Donna, I didn't argue with you on
Yeah.
that, then or now.
But I mean, are we going to have something like this map to show people? How much time do we have at town meeting to present this?
Day or two,
Excuse me?
day or two.
No,
You just did the presentation. It won't take long.
Takes nothing. Yeah, you
It's
just
nothing,
did it.
but,
Only allowed, what,
but
15
do they have a
minutes?
projector screen and all? I mean,
Yeah.
that isn't gonna work.
No.
Well, if we get, what I would hope to do is to get this superimposed on a slide or whatever, to go up on the screen.
Yeah.
So that everybody could see it at a bigger relief
And
than what
Peter, you
exists.
just go through what you just did.
Yeah.
But I want to make note of the consequences. If that was to break up there at the end of the Broad Marsh and the tide was going out, it would wipe out Pinehurst, Hamilton Beach, Swifts Beach, Parkwood. All of that would be polluted. If the tide is coming in, it's all going to be stuck in that marsh for God knows how long.
Yeah, cleanup won't be fun.
It's not something we can afford to let happen.
It's right next to you, Peter, right there.
It's a long distance call coming in. Donna, Mac, anything to add to this?
No,
No, you just did it.
you just did it. I think
Yeah, why don't you
Peter's got a real strong voice. He can get up there and he can
Go call
explain it.
I'll be there with you.
Yeah, or you, one of you two.
Well, either Mac or,
Yeah,
Peter did a
Peter.
good job, but we can make some notes, make sure we don't miss anything. I'll hold the notes.
yep.
And I can always chime in.
good, yeah, because my volume is where it's at, that's it.
Exactly.
I can't do anymore.
You can sit behind me and kick me.
Yeah, I'll bring the electric cattle prod.
Yeah,
Okay, we have on the docket, ladies and gentlemen, a green seal, environmental. Green seal, what this contract.
what's that, a survey, Jimmy,
This
I'm
is a
reading?
survey, yes,
Is this prior to the work we're doing?
affirmative.
What
And
the heck's the number on it?
$24,650.
Why do we have to do it?
I believe because it's a right-of-way, of some of the problems that Guy has indicated that we have on that right-of-way. The swimming pool that's on it, the
Is-
trailer that's on it,
There's structures on the right-of-way?
yeah.
This is, so what's this gonna accomplish?
To determine exactly where the right-of-way is. I mean, it's just like we had to do,
We can't get that from the registry of deeds?
no, it's pretty much what we had to do with the railroad. Had to do that survey of in order to do the, begin.
Do we have to confirm it to trespass to do the repairs, or are you gonna request that things on the right-of-way be removed, or why are we spending the money?
Well, I think we're gonna probably have to request some of these things be removed if they're gonna impact the lining of this at all.
Which should they even be on the right-of-way?
Well, they shouldn't be on it, first of all.
So how do you
But-
just, I mean, once you determine the right-of-way, how do you let things stay as is?
Well, you can't, but I guess it comes down to where you've got a situation, as I understand it, and I'm not positive, but on the right-of-way, and I don't know how it is, according to what I've been told, that it's directly, it's right over the pipe. And that's an in-ground swimming pool.
Oh, boy.
So, I mean, obviously, at some juncture, that's gonna have to be removed. Now, does that have to be removed before we line the pipes or after? Is it directly over the pipe, or is it to one side of the right-of-way and the pipe is over here? I don't know these things. It's only a speculation. I think we probably need some definitive as to where exactly that right-of-way exists, so that we're covered in what we do, and the homeowner is covered.
Is this in case we damage something? Or we get called out on trespassing? I mean,
Could be on it, I can't answer that honestly. I'm not-
so this is to ensure that when we do
That
the
the
repairs, it
right-of-way
goes
is-
smoothly and we go where we wanna go.
Yeah.
So it's another 24,000.
I mean, it's money I'd rather not spend, but
Ah,
under
God.
the circumstances and where it goes,
You know how they resolve this in Texas?
just
do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
Well, if you want to have more discussion on this, we can postpone this until Guy is available.
I don't know. I've had properties with right-of-ways, and I knew what I couldn't be on it, but whatever.
so for 24,000, all they're doing is telling us where our easement is?
Yep, according to this. Well, with the questions that can't
Okay,
be,
so they're saying 3 weeks' worth of work?
Well, if you look at that map, there's very little place that can be in question, because, I mean,
So
part of it's the
8,000
high school, and part of it's Viking Drive,
breakdown?
and the rest, a lot of it's on the road.
yeah,
Absolutely.
the biggest
It's two
area
guys
is
at
where it goes
8,000 a week.
through,
It's pretty heavy.
It's
Yeah,
through the marsh.
exactly.
Still have to
Well,
generate plans and do work at the
yeah,
shop.
because it goes through
They'd have to-
properties there
they'd have
and
to
through the
research
trailer park.
deeds, Right?
I believe
Well,
there's a
the
trailer-
marsh and the trailer park
They're
are the two
calcs at
different
the shop.
points.
Those are, the trailer park is, I believe, that's got one of the issues.
No,
Well-
no.
So,
I don't know what it's worth.
well, then I think I'd probably, based on the questions and the concerns, I would suggest that we postpone this till we can meet with Guy and find out if we need this whole thing done, or if we just need a section where the,
Well, actually,
Other two things are-
it specifies what they're doing here.
It's there.
yeah.
Under Exhibit A, scope of work, the total distance of 2,500 feet. That's an awful lot of money. Jim?
No, but I will have it in a minute. There we go.
I'd schedule it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy, Schedule A, yeah.
2,500.
What do you got there? Second to the last page.
Okay.
There you go, right
the
now.
Wrong thing, okay.
So they're actually just doing a survey of this easement.
But they're only doing it through the trailer park, across the salt marsh, at the end of the streets, until they get to the high school track, because then it's town property.
Yeah.
So they're talking 2,500 feet, it's gonna cost
$10
$25.
a foot.
Huh?
$10 a foot.
Yep.
You know what? Why don't you just ask for a breakdown on their scope? Just so you can justify it. I don't think it's out of line because of all the office work and calculations they have to do and the research. They gotta research deeds and everything. But if you wanna see it, I don't think it's unfair to ask for a breakdown.
And did this go out to bid, or did this just one contractor?
Well, I don't know. It's under, what is it, the limit,
25, it's under
25,000?
20, It's under,
25,000? Yeah.
I still would have, instead of
Are
just,
they one of our contracted guys? They are, yeah,
we've used
so.
them for a lot of.
I'm okay with it, but if,
Good point, okay.
ask for a
But
breakdown.
I think we should
They-
get
they
more than
can
a
do that
sketch.
in
I
10
think we
minutes.
should, have permanent markers, so we
No.
never have to worry about it
You
again.
don't feel it's right? You're the numbers girl.
I would have asked for, I definitely would ask for a breakdown, but
Not too late.
I wouldn't have just taken one proposal either. I'm sorry.
Okay. Let's push this off. And proceed on that basis.
Can I just ask you one question? I know
Yeah.
the limit is $25,000, okay? But would you, or you just get one proposal if it was it was a job that you were doing?
Say again?
I know that
I'm being rude.
we've used Greenspan before, and I don't have anything negative to say about anything, but I'm just saying, I believe for a job that's gonna cost $25,000, is still, we should have two or three bids. There's a lot of companies that would love to bid on this, probably even local companies.
Well, I
I'd
think,
like to see local
I
companies.
think
Me
if you
too.
go back to this and we sign them on, they bid with their rates in place, didn't they?
I'm sure
Wasn't
they
it
did.
based on their rates?
I'm sure they did.
Maybe we just gotta look at their rates. And a lot of people weren't interested in bidding this stuff either.
That's
I
probably.
remember that whole scenario now.
Well,
Because of where it goes.
Well, no, not this particular job in hand, but giving us the right rates so we can justify signing a contract. You know, remember those contracts we signed for convenience and to expedite?
Right,
A lot of people didn't even look at it.
no.
Now, I don't know if these were the only guys, but we probably agreed to sign them on at
Well,
some point.
They're doing other stuff for us, so
And it would only be under 25,000.
you know what?
You remember all this
Yeah,
stuff came in front of us?
I do remember it all, but
Yeah.
I don't know, I just don't.
We can wait for
What
Guy.
What bothers me is we use the same contractors over and over and over. And I don't have a problem if they're doing the best job for the best price. I don't have any problem with that. But how do I know when I don't see it?
We need to talk to Guy, because he has the history, and he may say nobody else looked at this kind of work, or he may say they were the lowest.
Well, if,
Right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, can I have a motion to postpone this till the next meeting?
Yeah, we'll table, I make a motion, we
Table.
table this till Guy is present.
Second it.
We can go through it.
Okay.
I know, you gotta be comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Problem.
because you
I
know,
don't,
what?
I
She is
don't
comfortable. She's
disagree at
leaning
all.
back.
when in business, you know,
But this is,
regular contractors get,
this is government.
Yeah, exactly.
so it's a giveaway.
I didn't say that.
One doesn't have anything to do with the other.
You should call Trump and discuss it with him. He's finding out.
No, Trump would get it done for the best
Absolutely.
price.
Of foolishness.
Yep.
Discussion with the legislation.
We need Guy for that or not? Or do you have some
Well,
insight?
The reason I put this on is just so that everybody comes on board, if possible, to look at, with the outfall pipe, we're going to be looking at probably $10 million to do that one as well. You know, and the second question is, and what's that gonna do for us? It's gonna expand the capability of the plant, the existing plant, which means we'll be able to handle more volume through it, which means we can tie on more homes and businesses within the Wareham community, which means we would have excess available for other communities to tie in. That leads into a regional scenario. The regional scenario, right now, Bourne needs more capability than we're providing, and would go for it. Mass Maritime wants out of the sewage treatment business, so they will go for it. Marion, it seems, is having difficulties and more than likely would have a strong interest in it.
I specifically heard that
Yeah.
they have a strong interest.
Yeah, and,
Marion does too.
yeah, and then
I
you've
can
got
say
South,
that with
then you've got
accuracy.
South Plymouth.
That's what I just said.
Yeah. I thought you said Bourne.
No, I said Marion.
Oh.
He said Bourne.
Oh, okay. I get confused.
South Plymouth has got the
Hit me.
potential to be a big area,
Yeah.
Particularly,
Down package, yeah, down that area,
yeah, even more so now because of all the issues in the town as a whole. So it's been suggested to me that what we need to do is to look at getting in touch with these other communities and begin the discussion process with them of regionalization. And the reason for that over IMAs is it's a regional scenario. Those that sign on to be part of the region don't have the same option of backing out that they do if they're under an IMA.
Oh, and they also have vested interest in it as well.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they would have a percentage interest in the
Exactly.
unit, and that would be, they would be picking up a percentage of the cost, depending on the particular.
No.
And so that would be, you know, potential funding sources once you have the regional.
Oh, I remember this discussion, yeah. Yep.
So you're saying that if we were to go to a neighboring town and they to get involved, they could help us with the cost of the outfall pipe, but would they still be paying to use our facility
Oh, yeah,
in addition to that?
Of course.
oh, yeah, one,
They would just have probably a voice at the table, a representative.
Exactly. You have to restructure this
Yeah.
board.
Exactly, exactly.
Years.
Yep.
Bring them on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they'd become more or less just another, so they almost become part of a betterment plan and then pay an EDU.
yeah, that's probably the simplified way of saying
Kinda.
it.
Yeah.
Well, we want to make it simple. We want to take it to the public and have
That's basically.
everybody
that's
understand it. I
basically
mean,
the
if I can
concept.
understand it, anybody can.
I mean, but that's basically, that's pretty much a simplified version, but that's about the same thing. You know, the translation is there. But, you know, after, you know, having more discussions relative to this, it seems like this is the way that we need to go, we need to be addressing before we can actually look at getting into doing something with the,
Well, are we in contact with any of these towns?
I don't believe this has happened yet. This is why I wanted to start this
Oh,
discussion.
it has happened.
Has it? Okay.
Yes, it has.
Some of it has.
The Marion conversation has definitely happened.
Well,
Correct.
Donna, there's two things with that. I know that Marion conversation has taken place, but not as a regional thing.
Oh, yes, yes, definitely, definitely, that was definitely positive, yeah,
Okay, I didn't know that.
that was definitely.
I think it's more attractive. Why would you sign
Yeah.
on if you're not gonna have
I
any
mean,
say?
Guy can fill you in
I
on all
wanna
that,
have
because he
somebody
was
here.
there.
Yep.
He's,
Yeah.
I just happened to be at the same restaurant, and,
I like the idea of regionalization because of the way it's funded and
Exactly.
because it gets a
Absolutely.
warm rap from everybody above us. We like that, and, you know, the coalition, everything, so.
Well, also, if we do go as a region to the state, we may get more assistance.
A lot more.
a lot more assistance, because they really are pushing regionalization in a lot of areas of town government. That's
Well,
the only way a lot of
We're in
towns
the
are.
right spot,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I mean, we've got,
logistically,
we've got,
just the way the geography is.
yeah, we've got everything, I mean, we're hitting an ideal spot for this. We've got a plant that can produce more than it is at the present time. The restriction on the plant now is the outfall, not the productivity of the plant. So, you know, if we can increase our outflow, which the pipe
Well,
would,
And,
it
and
allows us to bring in more.
I know from a very good source that the discussion is active and lively about sending water north to
Yes.
Rochester.
Yep. I
It's
know that.
become very, very
I know that.
sincere recently.
Sending water that way?
Yeah, water that
So
way.
you're suggesting we go with the sewer at the same time?
Oh, no,
Well, it would make sense. if
I
you
don't
bring the road up
know
once.
the best way
well,
to go.
I
right
think
now.
that the Rochester water that they're talking about is much more, I'm sorry, is gonna be a reality a lot sooner than we're gonna be able to offer sewerage.
You want the fly in the ointment?
Sure.
If we don't get the outfall pipe, and we get this 40B project, we're full.
Well, if we don't get the outfall pipe, we could probably send the 40B to Rochester.
That isn't gonna, I doubt that.
It's a thought,
But it is. We're full,
you know?
which means we can't invite any more industry or light business or anything else, and that's a moneymaker.
That's right.
So the outfall pipe is really, it should be, if not priority one, it should be up there with number one.
Well, it is. I mean,
It is.
it's moving right along. It's moving along a lot better and a lot faster than we originally anticipated when we first started
Right,
this.
we still haven't gotten an answer on that Sanctuaries Act, the no discharge zone,
What's that?
Cape Cod Bay is a no discharge zone. We haven't gotten a clarification on that yet.
From,
So keep your options open.
yeah, from who? Who does that come
That, I think that's federal. Guy was gonna get back to us on that. He's fully aware of it, so we need to talk to him.
from? Okay.
You should,
That was actually pointed out to me
Yeah.
by the local conservation officer in another town. You know that that's a no discharge zone. I said, no,
Well, how are they discharging there now?
Because
new,
the test,
additional.
because the testing
If
that's,
it's existing,
the testing that's been done and the information that's been shipped to wherever.
I'm
it's
not
sent to-
sure about that, so
Okay, I mean,
something to be aware of, that's all I'm saying.
Well, that information set that I went to at Mass Maritime, everything was roses. Every place that they had tested and everything else, there was absolutely there was nothing negative at all
need-
in any of their testing.
Guys are aware of it, so we need an update on that.
No guy was at that
There
same
may
meeting.
very well be a way around that, Peter, I don't know.
Well, no, he was at the same meeting,
Now,
so.
the problem is the tide runs both ways in the canal.
yep.
One way, it had absolutely no effect. I was amazed
Yeah,
with the test that they did.
Which one is that called? What was that called?
I believe it's a Sanctuaries Act.
Sanctuaries Act.
Yeah, and that has something to do with either Cape Cod Bay or Stellwagen or both. Maybe you can find something online.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
can you give me an estimate how much longer you might consider this meeting to go? 10 minutes?
not less.
No.
No.
10 minutes?
It depends,
Less.
it all depends,
Depends
it
on
all
how fast
depends,
we can,
it all depends on Donna.
motion to adjourn?
I'm gonna tell him 10 minutes.
We're good.
Okay, the next meeting, I've got them tentatively, if anybody's got a change here. Now, I gotta double check myself here, what did I just put? Oh, there it is in front of me, no wonder I can't find it. Calendar. Come on, you send somebody to show me how to operate this thing? 12th, right. Okay, the next meeting I've got for April 12th, then the 26th, then May 10th,
Jesus, how do you be that organized?
huh?
How can you be that organized?
I'm not.
You're all the way out to
Well,
Maine.
it's nobody's wedding anniversary is what.
Is that
it's
what it
keeping
is?
track of.
Oh, and there's, yeah,
And I'm not going to Maine,
no nor'easters.
5/24.
Go
Yeah,
to Maine, will you?
Okay, I'm going, as soon as I can. I gotta get a car first.
I'm gonna be on vacation for probably, I might be back for the 26th, but definitely on the 12th. I will not be present,
Are
so,
you going somewhere warm?
yes. Yes, I am.
I can't,
we
I
invited?
can't say what I want to say.
I'm playing, going to Florida and playing some golf.
Are we invited?
Stay in the middle.
Keep my head down.
Donna,
Yep.
Donna, it's up to you.
Oh, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
second.
All in favor?
Yes, sir.
Took you long enough.
Aye.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching.